Are you ready? Okay, so be it resolved that, ladies and gentlemen, polygamy harms no one for 2 minutes. Please welcome our Prime Minister, Doug.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So, be it resolved that polygamy harms no one. And let me define this for you. So, polygamy as in committed multiple relationships and harms no one. And really how I'm going to define harms no one is polygamy in and of itself does not harm anybody. And so why is that? Well, really when we think about it, harm comes about in many ways. Polygamy in and of itself is not the reason for that. Harm comes about in monogamous relationships. Harm comes about in single relationships. You can poke yourself with a knife and you hurt yourself by yourself. So really, if you think about it, it comes down to where does harm come from? And it really comes from, when we're talking about polygamy versus monogamy, it really all comes down to bad relationships. So whether you have a single relationship that is bad, harm could come about that. Whether you have multiple relationships and those are bad, then harm could come about that. And really, when you think about it, polygamy actually adds a lot of value to life, right? It lets you have multiple. Bring it on. It allows you to have multiple positive experiences, and it adds to your overall joy and happiness. So when you really think about it, when you have a monogamous relationship, you get bored. And when you get bored, that really brings on tension.
You haven't seen it yet.
But it's coming.
And again, tension brings on bad relationships. So, really with variety.
You can sleep with one eye open.
Next up, we have the leader of the opposition to oppose the Prime Minister. Please welcome for 3 minutes, Kayan.
I think you should be really tense right now. Debating society, remember who showed you the money. So it really harms no one. Polygamy, have you ever seen women who are at the head of a polygamous society? That's rarely ever happens because women are often at the lower levels where they're used as sex objects, and it's really a regression of feminism. Look at an example of the sect in Montreal. I think it was called the Soleil Levant, and then it led to a collective suicide. And it was pretty bad, and basically the women were sex slaves. And look at Bountiful, BC. They're forcing the women to continuously make babies, and they're living in this old society, and they're forcing them to live that way. And people are trying to get out, and they're trying to escape from it, basically. Where is really the value in polygamy? Well, you say there's harms and it harms no one. Where is the equality? There's basically polygamous by itself and by nature is unfair because the person who is at the head of the polygamous relationship is obviously ahead and superior to other people who have to compete for the affection, who have to compete against each other. Also, what about true commitment? Do you really want to teach your kids that little Johnny that they can have the pear, the strawberry, and the apple? Because really, you should teach your children to commit, because what happens when you have too many choices is that you just become scattered. And basically, for sure, you don't really want true commitment because there's no ring on this finger. It harms someone. They definitely harm someone. As Confucius said, when you're in bed with everyone, your heart is with no one. So you haven't chosen anything. And you know who are really polygamous people right now? They're indigenous tribes. Meaning that they actually don't live in developed society, and they're doing this for survival. They're having women make babies and cook and do all these things for men because they need to survive. And they're not in modern society like us, where we have been taught to think about equality, and I mean true equality, and have equality within our relationships. So that's what we've been taught. So polygamy harms no one. I would say polygamy always harms someone.
Now, to sum up the argument, 1 minute, please welcome our Prime Minister.
The lovely but naive leader of the You know, as I said, polygamy in and of itself does not harm anybody. You know, you talk about, bountiful BC and this weird Quebecer cult. Yeah, cults harm people, okay? I can have a polygamous cult. Of course that's harmful. I can have a cult, some other sect. That's harmful. But I'm not talking about cult here. I'm talking about polygamy. I'm talking about having multiple positive relationships. And, you know, what's so bad about the old ways? You know, we're in a society where we're running around with our BlackBerries. We don't even know when to say hi to our loved ones anymore. We're running around, driving, stuck in traffic. Why shouldn't we live in the old ways where we're really interacting with everybody, with all our loved ones, in a very peaceful and very loving way? And really, I think polygamy brings us together. It allows a lot of people to come together.
Come together. Here.
Interesting, fun, funny debate. Ladies and gentlemen, who votes for the government saying that polygamy harms no one? The government. 1, 2.
Bring it on.
2. And for the opposition. Whoa, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. There we go. Kayan wins the debate. And that sums up our, well, congratulations